Howdy, you delicious people. I'm here today to review the Elimination Chamber Chicago. So this is to be the 2026 edition, I guess, of the Elimination Chamber. And so, really, I'm going to go on and also explain what that box was to have been that had that delivery date. And I will honestly do that fairly early. So that way, really, there wasn't much to the box. The box didn't go on to deliver a match. It was basically just an entrance, and that was it. So, and a lot of people kind of already knew what the box was. It wasn't a surprise. And really, I'll go on and I'll wave my hand up and down, and I'll give you the spoiler of that. So, spoilers, everybody. It was Danhausen. What a shocker. Everybody was going on and assuming that it was going to be Danhausen anyways. There was already speculation that it was Danhausen. But I'm super happy for him. I'm really hoping that this is going to be really interesting and really fun. And I hope that they end up doing a lot more with him than the other company, AEW, did. Because eventually, more and more, he ended up just being forced to go back into doing just indie dates. So it was just kind of like a waste of time being tied to a company that could not be bothered to use him. So he was kind of forced to go to WWE because AEW could not bother to book him. So, alright, so now I've covered that, the man in the box. Let's now go on and let's start covering the matches. So, we of course have the Women's Elimination Chamber. So, honestly, these chamber entries are not actually really surprising. You could basically predict exactly who is going to come to the match. It's not really random anymore, or it really doesn't go on and play well into thinking that it's going to be randomized. So I think it's stupid how they have to waste the time going back and forth through so many different lights of like, who is it going to be? You know who it's going to be. It's not a surprise when they picked this character. Oh, they picked that character. And I every time would go on and know exactly who's going to be next. Like, it's not a shocker. Of course, Orton was the last one to enter, and we'd go on to have Raquel, who's the last one to enter. So, the Women's Elimination Chamber was to start off with James and Tiffany. James's moveset is just kind of a little bit strange and kind of old school. She does have that kick though, that like where it's like, okay, we could probably do a lot with that, I guess, because I couldn't really see much else of what she was really doing in the matchup besides that. Like I didn't see a finisher. James is kind of one of the characters that it's like I saw her in the Royal Rumble, and that's about it. And I've yet to see anything of real impressive nature coming out of this character yet. So we'll see. She kind of reminds me of like a Stacy Keebler, one of those like Dana Brooke characters when eventually she was with Titus Worldwide, and like they just put her in a suit because they have nothing better for her to do. They're giving her a really old gimmick, and they're having her with a really old moveset. I just don't know why. So, but if anything, there was some Tiffy and James spots that were pretty impactful compared to so many other wrestlers that kind of enter in this match. Eventually, when Asuka comes in, she is to really take down both Tiffany and both James and really just push them against the cell and and manhandle people. And then Asuka is just kind of in and out. Eventually, Asuka sprays mist on Bliss to eventually have her get pinned and get eliminated. As really, that's the only real spot that really matters with Bliss being in this matchup, besides her Twisted Bliss uh, off of the Elimination Chamber door thing that she kind of does every time that she does one of these matchups. Freaking, anyways. Um, there were times where she was to go on and do the Twisted Abigail and eventually Bub Kiss Nowhere with that. Man, Rhea and Bliss, when they were going on and they were fighting, man, were they just twisting all over the place. Like, I just thought that spot with them was just so goofy. It's like, did they not know what they were doing? So they were just twisting uh, like, uh, like red vines. They're just, like going like a lot of like this, just so like you're playing Thumb Wars and you're trying to just figure things out as you're twisting around. Anyways, so Raquel comes in the match late and she starts to dominate. Raquel goes on and eliminates both Asuka and James simultaneously. And Raquel is starting to dominate things. She's starting to take people out. So, but it all comes down to both Tiffany and Rhea, because of course it does. And this is to all be for Jade Cargill's title. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Whatever. Jade Cargill is a champion now. Okay, whatever. Surprising. Um, but anyways, so spoilers. Of course, Rhea wins because she hasn't really done really much of anything, like except for win tag team gold at one point, but and with EO. But yeah, other than that, like Rhea is kind of lost more matches than she's won, so she has to go on to do something WrestleMania to get the big fat check, right? So, and if anything, I honestly would have actually rooted for Raquel to win this match, bizarrely. I don't know what it was. Like, I think that it was just kind of her time, but maybe I was wrong about that. Like, if anything, like, I wasn't thinking that Tiffany was going to win this match. So I was like, well, I guess Ray is going to win this match because that's the only thing I can justify in my head. All right. So let's talk about the Becky Lynch AJ Lee matchup. So, if anything, on AJ Lee's side of things, like, man, is she like really smooth in the ring? And if anything, like, she was very technical also of like what she was all just trying to do. I was like, wow, I was like just really impressed for what AJ Lee is to go on and just bring in the ring. And they had to mention that, and they're like, well, yeah, she has been training alongside CM Punk and blah blah, just kind of working things out and like, if anything, honestly, like AJ Lee going on and being like she was in the ring kind of made Becky look bad in comparison. But then again, Becky Lynch has been wrestling against Max Dupree's and and all these kind of other wrestlers that are just they're kind of rookies and they're kind of new. So, like, yeah, when finally going on and going up against AJ Lee, yeah, she's going to look bad by comparison. Becky Lynch also looked bad in the Royal Rumble, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. So, does Becky Lynch don't like does she never do the disarmer anymore? She did an armbar in this match, and I'm just like, man, does she like never do the disarmer anymore? Like I remember that used to be a thing where she used to do it all the time, but now I've seen so many matches and there has not been one time where she's done the disarmer. Like, is she just trying to do put more in her move set, or like I just don't get it. Like, they used to be like her basically finisher move. Now, she goes on and has that slam that she has, which I'm like, okay, whatever. So, spoilers. AJ Lee goes on and wins the Intercontinental title. Shocker, yeah. Like, I kind of figured she would go on and win because this is Chicago. And my biggest problem is, like, I just don't think that AJ Lee wrestles that often. Like, and her return for a lot of people has just been underwhelming. So it's just like, so if she becomes champion, does that mean she's going to wrestle more? I probably doubt it. So she'll have won the title, but then will she really do with it? Oh well, like, but if anything, uh, she went on to go on and come back to the ring and do some celebration, and I'll talk about that at some point in time here. All right, so let's go on and let's talk about the CM Punk versus Finn Balor match. So we've kind of already had this recently, so it's just like, what are they gonna do that I'm going to give a about? Uh, if anything, I like how this match was a brawl. I like the half Nelson things that they were doing, but it's really just trying to like really dissect and pick apart this match and really find things that was better than the last match, and I just don't think it was. We come to find out that CM Punk is to have blood coming out of his mouth. Maybe he bit his tongue or bit his lip or something, and blood came out of that. I have no idea. And if anything, nobody said anything. So it is what it is. Uh, so within the story of the match, they talked about, I think, how Punk's ribs is kind of a little messed up. So we had Finn that was to go on and do an abdominal stretch. And I'm like, okay, like this is to go on and kind of be some nice old school thing. Like we had James in the women's elimination chamber match was going on doing like test the strengths and stuff like that. I'm like, man, that is really just kind of really old school. But whatever, like, hey, like if this person only has a certain number of moves, then they have a certain number of moves. At least James did look very fluid in the ring. She looked very good in the ring. I liked it. So let's go back to the CM Punk Finn Balor match. So I'm really starting to like what they're doing with Balor, but I don't feel it's going anywhere. Like it seems that they're trying to make him babyface, but then also like they don't really know what to do with him. Uh it's nice that they're going on and giving him these title matches, but like it's doing nothing for him. So with that said, spoilers. Of course, Punk wins. Shocker. He's in Chicago. Is he gonna lose here? I highly doubt it. And we had AJ that comes back into the ring and celebrates with Punk. And like it was kind of interesting how Punk was to go on and do that whole like entrance music where he does like the sports song beforehand of going out there. Um I guess the hockey song that they end up using before he goes out there just to just do something slightly freakingly different. Uh I thought it was funny how like Punk was to go on and do an interview where he talked about his entrance music and how he mentioned how he was talking to Vince and mentioning that he wanted copyrighted music. He wanted Vince to pay a lot of money so that way uh, Vince would say no to that music so then Punk wouldn't have to return. Surefire enough, Vince went on to decide, okay, I'll go on and I'll pay for copyrighted music. And so that's the reason why Punk has this entrance music that he has. And it's eventually a song that he's ending up just being much more well known for. Because I think a lot of people are to go on and ask, like, well, hey, why don't you have the Kill Switch Engaged song or anything else that he's kind of known for? It's like, well, yeah, and in AEW he did go on and do his old ROH music, but anyways, um, in one match. But really, like, I don't think he's ever gonna go on and do that ever again, um, or bring back the old music, because no one really brings back their old entrance. No one really does that anymore. But anyways, so now let's go on and let's talk about the men's elimination chamber. So Javon Evans to me is just this bouncing ball of a character, and he's very sloppy. And like I was hoping for more out of this match because I was like, well, like the women's match was pretty hard hitting uh, at certain points. Raquel coming in and just kind of just powerhousing through people, um, smacking into the chains and uh, the spots with James and Tiffany where they bash uh, through certain parts of the the doors, the boxes that are inside the chamber. We did have Logan within this match. He went through like one um, door through into the box in the chamber door. Yeah, he went like from door, box, door. And he went all the way through. He went transitional all the way through the whole thing, and that was pretty cool. Also, it looked like Logan had a big, huge gash on his back. So that was just quite interesting. I'm curious if Logan Paul had gone on to be drawing or doing some goofy crap like he goes on and does every year that he does Chamber. Because that video he had gone on to do with him, just kind of doing a bunch of drawings, did really well on his channel, it seems. So, more than likely, that might end up being a thing that he just does every year, just so that he can just do this video that he does on his channel for him being inside the chamber. Trick Williams, I'll go on and I'll say this. Trick Williams, we basically realized that this guy is to be like a modern day Booker T, obviously. Um, but like Booker T is still like a great wrestler. Um, like I'm not just saying that they're just so easily reversible or replaceable or whatever. You can't really just go on and easily replace Booker T. Uh, I would go on to say that I didn't really see anything from Trick Williams in this match that wowed me. Um, because I don't think anything of Trick Williams. I just don't. Um, I feel that he's like an old fashioned character, and like I'm just kind of waiting to see like some kind of wowing thing out of him yet. So there is that for you. Uh, LA Knight. It seems that people are trying to think that LA Knight is gonna get some big spot at Mania somewhere. Like LA Knight is gonna end up with Brock Lesnar, or LA Knight is gonna be in some bigger spot than really what he is. And I honestly don't really believe that. Uh, because I feel that LA's LA Knight's performance here was pretty decent, but nothing stood out. If anything, the only thing that stood out was the one spot that he was supposed to go on the top rope, and then something happened to where like his back got hurt or something. I have no idea what that was. Uh, but hey, like stuff happens. People get hurt. People get injured. So, and it's really sucks that that's going to be the only thing that LA Knight's going to be known for is that one spot because he went on with Evans to do that one signature move on the top of uh, that box, and I'm not talking about the one uh, where they chucked Logan Paul to do that crossbody and the guys caught them because that was the big move of the night really out of that whole chamber thing. That was like, oh, here's how they use the chamber. But other than that, even for the like the guy stuff, like there wasn't anything that was really like it didn't even seem like they really used the chamber to its benefit. I think the women used more of the chamber than the guys did. I also thought it was really funny how Orton, like, because all the other guys just were climbing around the chamber in their entrances and doing all this ooh wow stuff, where Orton was just like, yeah, should I climb the chamber like everyone else? No, like I'm not gonna risk doing anything. So Orton goes on and just kind of stands there. It's like, man, I'll do my pose, and then I'll wait to be the last in the chamber because of course he will. So for the women, it was Tiffany and James that started the matchup. Then we had Asuka, then we had Bliss, then we had Rhea, then we had Raquel. For the men, we had Cody and we had Evans that was starting the match. And I'm like, okay, like yeah, because you need to have a lot of time for Logan to go on and do his drawings or whatever goofy crap he's gonna do in his box. And I didn't think that Orton was gonna be starting the match anyways. So for the men, I believe it was to have gone on and been Cody and Evans starting the matchup. Then uh, we had Trick Williams with LA Knight, Logan, and then Orton to finish up here. So, spoilers. Uh, this finish was actually really shocking. But the match honestly really got very stupid because we had the door of the chamber just be open and just everybody and their brother just started to come through. There was two masked men that were interrupting the match, and one of the masked men finally ended up actually being Seth Rollins. We had some other masked men, the guy that was just somebody that I have no idea who he was or why I should care who he was. And so Seth goes on and interrupts Logan with a curb stomp just for Cody to get the pin because Logan was eliminating basically almost everybody. He was going on and he was eliminating Trick. He was going on and eliminating Evans. He was eliminating LA Knight. So it got down to Cody and Orton. And that whole curb stomp thing, and then the pin, and then Cody realized that Orton and him were the only ones left. Orton hits Cody with an RKO out of nowhere, and the pin happens, and Orton wins. I'm like, this is the sloppiest, just garbage way to end this PLE that you could possibly imagine ever to go on and be happening. Plus, also with the door being opened, we could have had like Paul Heyman and Austin Theory interrupt the match because the door was open. At any point in time earlier, yeah, they could have just walked right in because there's no disqualifications anyways, and Austin Theory could have been involved in this matchup, helping out Logan the whole entire time. Because what could have anyone would have really have gone on and done here? It was really interesting to go on and see in the women's matchup how the referee was to be consistently taken out, and then there was like a teasing of AJ Lee winning the match by tap out, but then eventually the ref didn't see it, and then eventually they gone on to kind of wake up the ref and eventually finish out the match with a tap out. So Orton is going on and he is going to be pointing at the sign just like Rhea pointing at the sign because she won also. So we also had Drew that was to interrupt the match to try and ruin this match for Cody. So I'm assuming that Cody is going to somehow make his way into this matchup. So that way they're probably going to have a triple threat or some goofy thing like that. Plus, I honestly would like it to have been Cody, Randy, and Drew anyways, instead of just having a singles match, but whatever. If anything, I would have also liked it if Fatu would have been involved, but whatever. Like, it's too late for that now. Because I would have actually liked Fatu in the actual bigger picture, getting to be part of the world title division. But oh well, that's just not going to happen now, is it? So overall, this PLE was just very mid, in my opinion. And, like, why should I be surprised? We only have 4 matches. And also, like, one of them was even a rematch, and then also it's Becky Lynch, AJ Lee. Uh, really, of course, like, I also just don't really care for the gimmick PLEs because really, like, it takes up so much time for them to go on and do the gimmick matches. And yeah, like, also, like, it seems that a lot of times, like, they go on when they do the gimmick matches, it seems that they always try to go on and they always try to do them safely. But it honestly seemed that this year, it seems that a lot of people were kind of like messing up their backs or hurting themselves. So hopefully everybody does not go on and doesn't get any injuries or any nagging things from off of this match. But either way, I think that is really just the Elimination Chamber this year. Uh, yeah, like these WWE Pelleas. I really just want to get to one where it's just a normal, non-gimmick thing, where you don't have to have six different people or six plus people in a matchup, or 30 people or whatever. Like, I just want a PLE that's just like just normal matches. Um, so hopefully we'll get to that at some point. Uh, hopefully we'll go on and we'll see that Man in the Box a little bit later. And I'd like to say that he's going to go on and be in some PLE in the future, but there have been a number of guys that have all been kind of contracted with the company, but I've yet to still see them in one PLE yet. So, man, this is great. Um, that they hire so many of these people, but they can't put them into PLE for, like, even though there's so many spots that people can go on and be in. Yeah, they're still not there. So, anyways, with that said, yeah, like, that's all I have to say. This was very just mediocre. It's very mid. Um, we're having characters being brought to this matchup that were just like, I'm still not seeing why they brought these people up. I don't get it. Um, why are these NXT people to be here? Uh, but then again, also, like, I hope that at some point in the future, we go on to get bigger and better things, as far as match quality is to be concerned, and not do rematches or stuff that it's like, oh yeah, we're seeing this again, um, in a different way, in a different spin, and whatever. Yeah. So, with that said, I'm just gonna go on and get out of here because I really have not much to say about this PLE. I really don't. Um, that's a very frustrating thing when I've gone on and done so many reviews. Is I just don't really have anything strongly uh, to say about things. So I'm just like, really, all I have to do is kind of just go over what happened in the film or what happened in the event or whatever thing I'm covering, because it's very hard for me to find anything anymore that is to do it because of pure enjoyment. Because, like, because I would go on to really just go through A, B, C, D of things, and it's just like it's just like, okay, I guess I'm watching this now because there's nothing left. Um, but I hope I will eventually go on and have a stronger opinion about project in the future. because I'm hoping to go on and get back into some films and review those, and also get back into doing some reviews that I think people will go on and be a lot more interested in than what I've been doing lately, which has been a nothing burger because, uh, or Zombieverse was to go on and just kind of be uh, a bit of fun, even though it's from a season that's um, wasn't as good as its predecessor, but there was some potential there. Anyways, so I'm gonna go on and get out of here because I'm just kind of ranting about other things. So thank you for watching this. I appreciate you going on and checking this project out or any other of these things because it does greatly help out the channel. And goodbye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Oh, also, uh, I'm been very happy that uh before like earlier I had gone on to find that finally have been grinding away on Timu for freaking ever, and two, well, um, uh, quite a bit of farmland was to go on and hit really well. So I'll go on and get quite a few items. Luckily, um, they of course were out of stock of most of my things because that's what always happens. Like when you have to go on, you have to put items in there hoping that they're gonna just be there forever. Yeah, they aren't. Um, but I was kind of hoping that at least I could get a newer microphone instead of using the one I'm using because it's kind of a little bit of a situation where I'm just kind of tying it onto this thing because it broke at one point. But oh well. Um, I won't get a new microphone. I won't get it anytime soon. But uh, I'm getting more stuff that is to tie into future reviews and just kind of stuff that is to just kind of be fun. So I'm happy about that. I'm very pleased. So hopefully, I will continue to have that future success with Timu and go on and keep getting items and keep getting stuff that'll help me in the future get to be able to do more reviews and have things to add on to thumbnails, which I didn't before. So great. Hopefully, that'll continue to be going on. That was super big. Also, what the items were. Uh, like one of them is to go on and tie into Superman, the Superman 2025, because I know there's going to be a sequel of it, and I know that eventually I will go on and to probably second guess what I did for the thumbnail of Superman 2025, anyways. Even though it won't really matter, it won't really improve anything. Uh, but also, Supergirl is coming up anyways, so I might as well kind of prepare for that. Have something available for that. So I will have something. And then there was some stuff that was just kind of fun. Like I had like a brain beanie. Uh, so that's kind of fun. I have a Riddler shirt coming, so that's going to be something that I'm going to use to adjust some thumbnails. And there is like a hoodie that eventually will probably no one will care about. It's not going to be probably used for anything, but it's just kind of like I like gothic stuff. I like skulls and horns and all kinds. So like eventually I'll probably wear it at some point in one of these videos, probably as a dragon on it. Yeah, cool. Yeah, whatever. Um, but anyways, yeah. Other than that, yeah, it's just kind of goofy crap. that eventually I just got. At some point, I'm hoping to go on and get some more shirts, some more costume stuff somewhere down the road. So, best of luck with that happening. So, other than that, I'm gonna get the heck out of here because I know I'm just rattling on instead of talking about this. But, anyways, it's been a gap of time since me going on and doing a review because really I've either been working out or I've been sick or I've been any number of things. So thank you for going on and still hanging on to this channel, regardless of just the best amount of content that's going out lately. And I hope to go on and be able to change that in the near future. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.